Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and this video is just going to be sort of a live commentary review of Mario Kart World. I've had about 15 hours with the game or so, a little bit more. I played some last night, and that's not as many as some other streamers and YouTubers, but I figured I'd go ahead and give my review. It's been about a week since the game came out, a week tomorrow, tomorrow night technically, where I live. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about the game, what I like, what I love, what could be better. I definitely think they missed the mark on some of the stuff in this game, but I also think they hit the mark so hard in other stuff, so it's really hard to say whether this game is my favorite Mario Kart or my second favorite Mario Kart, right behind 8 Deluxe. Right now, I'm inclined to say it's my favorite just because it's, a new experience, but that could totally change. And I apologize for the somewhat choppy frame rate of the, game recording. My capture card isn't the best, so I don't have, a top-of-the-line capture card. I think my capture card only records in, like, 30 frames. And obviously, this game, these games run at 60 now, so I've tried messing with it in the settings. I can't really get it to go past 30. So I apologize. I'm trying to get a new one so we can get some better gameplay here soon, especially since, we're going to need 60 frame capture card now because all the games are going to be 60 for the most part, at least Nintendo-wise. So let's just hop right into it. We'll start with like the single player stuff. We'll just kind of go through. I'll talk about what I like and don't like. So single player, you got Grand Prix, Knockout Tour, Time Trials, Versus Race, and Battle Mode. When it comes to the Grand Prix, I think the Grand Prix themselves are really solid. I've already went through and, 3-star Gold Cupped all of the Grand Prix, including the Rainbow Road Special Cup, which we'll talk about Rainbow Road here in a minute. And we will go into like a more dissected track review later on when we talk about the free roam mode. This is just going to be like summing up the Grand Prix. So Mushroom Cup, I think, is a very good intro. You start on Mario Bros. Circuit, of course. You head to Whistletop Summit, or excuse me, Crown City. Then you head to Whistletop Summit and the DK Spaceport. I think DK Spaceport is probably in my top 3 favorite tracks. It's very, very good. Unfortunately, the Crown City in this Grand Prix is not the best. But the Crown City in you have to play later on. In which one is it? Or excuse me, not Crown City. I thought you had to yeah, Crown City again in the Shell Cup is a lot better, I think. But the Crown City in the Mushroom Cup is simple, but like that's kind of the point, so can't be too mad. I think it's a great cup. The DK Spaceport is a great finisher. The Fire Flower Cup, a very solid. Desert Hills is probably one of my least favorite tracks, to be honest. And it's kind of a shame that it's the only track you get to spend 3 laps on, since the Grand Prix in this game count the intermissions as 2 tracks, and then you do a track 1 lap on the actual track. I wish they would add a mode to where you could do the intermissions, and then also still do 3 laps on the track you drive to. I think that'd be really cool. Or just let us, do 3 laps on a track, no intermissions, which I think you can do that in Versus mode, but not in Grand Prix. But Desert Hills is probably one of the worst tracks in the game. Shy Guy Bazaar is amazing. It's such a good track. I'm so happy they brought this one back, and they tied it into like Sarazaland. You can see, it's Daisy's castle. It's a really, really good track in this game. Wario Stadium is also very good. I think it's definitely the best it's ever been, mostly because this game's new mechanics, which we'll talk about later. But the game's mechanics, adds, the tricks, the wall riding, the grinding, the new items. Like, it really makes Wario Stadium feel a lot better. And then Airship Fortress is also a really good track. It's a short track. It is a shorter track, but the tech that you can do in that track with like the grinding on the rails, especially in the first half of the track, so cool looking. It's a very good track, and I'm glad it made a comeback in this game. The Star Cup is probably my most hated track, my most hated cup, but it also has one of my favorite tracks. And the reason it's my most hated cup is because it's the last one that I was able to 3-star Gold Cup, because I had to do it like 7 times in a row, and I'd get like in the last lap of Wario Shipyard, and then I'd get blue shelled and red shelled and, not get first place. So It just made me upset. But aside from that, this cup is great. DK Pass is a very solid track. The trick you can do where you trick off of the road and then trick off of the light pole to skip the turn is so fun, and it's so satisfying to hit every time. Starview Peak is a very good track. I think they definitely could have added more to the part where you're doing the water. The water section could have more, because it's really just, there's some item boxes, a couple ramps, and then the star boosts. But they could have added some more, obstacles. But other than that, it's a great track. Sky High Sunday has such an improvement from the Tour 8 Deluxe version. Don't get me wrong, I love the theming and the idea of Sky High Sunday in 8 Deluxe and Tour. I didn't really play Tour that much, but it was in Tour as well. And it really feels like they were making it for this game, and then they were like, well, it's going to be a while before World comes out, so let's just go ahead and throw it into the booster course and on Tour. But it really feels like it was made for this game. Like, when you play it in this game and then you play it in 8 Deluxe, it just, like, there's not even that much different in the track, really, other than the fact that it's connected to the open world with the intermission tracks and stuff. Like, the course itself is almost identical to the 8 Deluxe version, but it works so much better because you can grind on all the rails. The gliding is a lot better in this game, in my opinion. The wall riding, like, there's spots to wall ride and like, it's just a great track in this game. And then Wario Shipyard, I love the idea of Wario Shipyard. I'm not a huge fan of, like, mostly the water levels. I think the water driving is my least favorite, and I think that's a lot of people agree. It's not bad, it's just so slippery, and especially on flat water where there's no waves, like, it's not really anything to trick off of unless there's ramps put in. So, Wario Shipyard's a good track overall. It's just not my favorite. Star Cup, aside from giving me a hard time, is a pretty solid cup. The Shell Cup is very, very, it's okay in my opinion. This might be my least favorite cup. Koopa Troopa Beach really disappointed me. It only has, like, one mushroom shortcut, and it's really just a circle. And, like, to be fair, it's pretty accurate to the original, because the original is just a circle as well. But it just feels small. Like, I feel like if they made it bigger and added more obstacles on the course, then the size and it just being a circle wouldn't really matter as much. But, again, it's another mostly water course, so there's not many obstacles. Going to Faraway Oasis, the best track in this cup. It's such a good track. And then there's not really much to say. Like, it's a pretty generic track, but it's a really good track. Going to Crown City, the intermission to Crown City is really, really fun, driving over the bridge. I think it's a little too long, but other than, like, it's great. It's great, don't get me wrong. Crown City is definitely better than Crown City in the Mushroom Cup, but, still Crown City. And then Peach Stadium is really bad in this cup. I don't know why they made it like this, because they used Peach Stadium again in the Special Cup, and Peach Stadium in the Special Cup is really, really good. So they just went with a different route for Peach Stadium in this cup, and, it just, really the only memorable track is Faraway Oasis and Koopa Beach, and only because Koopa Beach is Koopa Beach. Like, everyone knows Koopa Beach, but, like, you could just completely forget the rendition of Crown City and Peach Stadium in this cup. Even though they're not bad, it's just, like, why would you remember Crown City from the Shell Cup when it's in the first cup? Why would you remember Peach Stadium from the Shell Cup when it's in the Special Cup, So it's just, like, half of the cup is reusing, I guess, but they're, like, worse versions. Anyways, Banana Cup is very solid. This is up there. Peach Beach got a overhaul. So Peach Beach, the first lap is very similar to how Peach Beach used to be, but now, going into the second lap of Peach Beach and the third lap technically, it's a whole new route with a whole new stuff. It's so fun. They really amped up Peach Beach. Salty Speedway is also very solid. Again, I'm not huge on the water riding levels, but I think out of the water riding levels in this game, Peach Beach and Salty Speedway are the best, and it's great that they're back-to-back in the same cup. Salty Speedway has so many, like, the water isn't necessarily even required in this stage, except for the last lap of it, or the last section of the laps. But it's a very good, lots of tricks. You can go over the buildings, just completely avoid the water altogether if you want. Dino Jungle got a very good upgrade in this game. I really didn't care for Dino Jungle before, but in this game, it's so fun. The fact you can, trick off of and grind on the dinosaurs is very, very cool. Great Question Block Ruins is easily my, if we're not including Rainbow Road, it's my favorite track, but I think Rainbow Road will be my favorite track, and we'll talk about why. Great Question Block Ruins is an amazing original track. It's so good. I like that it's all up in the sky, so when you're driving to it, you hit a glider ramp, and it just shoots you straight up into the sky. And it makes sense because question blocks are in, like, just float, they float above you, so of course the Great Question Block Ruins would just be in the clouds. It's such a cool concept and idea, and the track itself is really good. So many rails and grinding and wall rides, so many tricks. The speedrun tech on this track is absolutely insane. So Banana Cup is up there, super good. Leaf Cup, Cheap Cheap Falls is a solid track. Dandelion Depths is probably one of my also favorite tracks in this game. I really love the original tracks for this game. Boo Cinema is great. I love that you drive through the NES Boo track. I forget what it's called, but the NES Boo Boardwalk track as the intermission course to the Boo Cinema. Super cool. Dry Bones Burnout is also very cool, but I'm just a Dry Bones lover. So overall, you know, Leaf Cup, very solid. Lightning Cup, starting with Moo Meadows is always great. 3 tracks on that track is super fun. It's almost identical to the 8 Deluxe version, but, you know, with the Mario Kart World coat of paint slapped on. Choco Mountain has been completely revamped in this game, and I'm so glad it was, because, like, the original Choco Mountain is Dookie Cheek's ass. So, sorry, like, this, I forgot to mention this is going to be an uncensored video. Choco Mountain before this game was Dookie Cheek, ass, butthole, whatever. And they made it so much better in this game. Toast Factory returning is also a major W, and Bowser's Castle in this game, low-key, might be better than 8 Deluxe's Bowser's Castle, in my opinion. It's just so fun. And the fact that you, on the intermission, you drive through the donut battle track to get there is so cool. And then we go to the best, the best cup in the game, the Special Cup. This cup is just like 3 levels above all the other ones. Acorn Heights is an amazing track. Super, super awesome. I love, you know, all of the tricks and the grind, especially that part when you glide down into the leaves and mushrooms, or there's walls and rails and mushrooms to bounce off of. Such an amazing track. Mario Circuit is really cool in this game. I'm surprised they put a retro course, technically, in the Special Cup, but Mario Circuit in this game is actually a NES remake of all of the original Mario Circuits. So it's Mario Circuit 1, 2, 3, and 4, I believe, all mashed together into one track, and it's super, super cool. Peach Stadium is way better than it is in the Shell Cup. They actually, like, use the whole track in, in the Special Cup. But it's really, really cool. And then the build up to Rainbow Road, you just, like, the intermission is just like 30 seconds of driving straight with a couple items. And, you know, all the cinematic of building up to Rainbow Road. And then you shoot into the sky and get into Rainbow Road. And oh my gosh, dude, Rainbow Road in this game is the best Rainbow Road ever. Fight me. I don't care. Nintendo Mario Kart 7 defenders, fight me on this. Mario Kart World Rainbow Road is the best Rainbow Road, and honestly, probably the best track in Mario Kart ever. It's so, so fun. It's a 5 checkpoint track, so you get to drive all the way through it. There's so many references to previous Rainbow Roads and so much new stuff. That section, I know I don't like the water section, but that section where you ramp on and drive through the water is so beautiful. The space station is a really cool callback to the Mario Kart 8 Rainbow Road, because I know a lot of people don't like that one, but they actually did it in this game, and they did it really well. There's just so much in this Rainbow Road. It's so long. It's like almost a 6-minute track just to drive through the Rainbow Road. It's such an amazing course. So yeah, that is the Grand Prix review. I know we're 13 minutes, it's gonna be long, right? But bear with me. So Grand Prix, very, very fun. I wish we had a way to either just make it, you know, 3 laps, no intermissions, or, you know, 3 laps with the intermissions. I think it'd be really cool, you know, do 3 laps on a course, drive to the next course, do 3 laps on the course. It would definitely make the game, it would add more time, without really necessarily adding filler, because you're still driving, like, on the tracks. You're not adding more intermission filler. You're adding tracks, you're adding laps, which I think would be great for Grand Prix. Knockout Tour is very solid. I haven't played too much of the Knockout Tour. I've mostly played Knockout Tour online. But I am going to go through and, you know, try to 3-star Gold Cup all these. But from what I played, these are very, very fun. You drive from one point of the map to the other point of the map, going through 6 track, I guess, POIs. And then the intermissions, the connecting them. And these are so, so fun. The way that there's no loading, like, you just start, like, here, you start at Peach Beach and you go to Desert Hills. there's no loading scenes. You just go, and you have to not get eliminated because the roster, the amount of people racing gets halved every time you hit the track checkpoint. So when you get from Peach Beast to Dino Dino Jungle, it goes from 24, I think well, not halved, it goes from 24 to like 18, I think. Or no, it's 24 to 20, I think. But it goes down every time, so people get eliminated, so you're incentivized to not bag. You're incentivized to keep your lead and try to gap everyone else. But it's really hard because there's obstacles in your way, and there's other people behind you trying to slipstream you and throw items at you. And don't forget about the blue shells. Like, it's an amazing... I think I like Knockout Tour more than Grand Prix in this game. They are so fun. I know a lot of people saying that Knockout Tours would be, oh, it's just driving simulator because you're not doing any track laps. And while that is somewhat, like, you're not doing track laps, it feels like one giant track. Because, at least in my case, I haven't had any situations where anyone is, like, largely gapping anyone else. I've always had, you know, whenever I'm behind people, I can see first place in front of me, even if I'm, you know, 15th or 16th. Like, it's so fun. And I'm sure that's gonna, like, a change and evolve as people get better at the game with the Knockout Tours, but right now, it's super fun, and I don't think there's going to be a way to really make it unfun. So yeah, Knockout Tours, very, very solid. I'm not going to go in depth on these, because again, I haven't played all of them. I've mostly played Knockout Tour online. But from what I have played, my favorite gameplay so far. It's so fun. Heading back, talking about time trials, I mean, there's not much to really say here. It's time trials. I like the menus where, like, you know, you find the track you want, select your track, you can solo race, you can race against any ghosts, you can view your ghosts, you can just, like, watch them and learn. And you can also view the top rankings. You know, Toadette and Bowser are, like, dominating the leaderboards on every track right now, and Wario as well. You can also upload your own ghost data if you want to. You don't have to upload your data in this game. But yeah, I mean, it's very fun, you know, time trials. I have a couple time trials. Like, I tried doing DK Spaceport for a while. I don't think that's the record now. Yeah, it's third place now, but I mean, it's by like 0.3 seconds. But like, you know, I was 4 seconds behind the world record at the time, and it's very fun to just see how close you can get to getting close to like these high-speed competitive players. And, you know, trying to set one on your own. So yeah, that's time trials. Really, again, not much to say. Versus racing is, you know, pretty much like it is in every other game, but with it's a little bit different in this game. Because, you know, you pick your race count, all this stuff, and then you just select the course, and then whenever you select the course, you can drive to any of the ones around it. So if we selected Cheap Cheap Falls, we would have the option of driving to DK Pass, Dandelion Depths, Moo Moo Meadows, Peach Stadium, I think also Faraway Oasis, and Solitude Speedway. So you pick a track, and you can drive to any of them that are, like, directly next to them. And that's with the intermissions on. You can also turn intermissions off and just do 3 laps on a track, and then go and pick any track and do 3 laps on a track. So that's very, very cool. But yeah, I mean, you can select the race count, you can select course selection, so this is where it's kind of confusing. But open is where you select random and then connected. So if you want to do the intermissions, you do connected. If you do 3 laps per track, no intermissions, you select open, and then random is random. Again, versus very good to have, just like an essential for Mario Kart. Battle mode, probably the weakest mode in this game, unfortunately. I was hoping we'd see some new stuff, but we only have Balloon Battle and Coin Runners, which is a downgrade from 8 Deluxe somehow. And Coin Runners is Coin Runners. We don't really talk about Coin Runners. Balloon Battle is good. You can't go wrong with Balloon Battle. It's fine. But yeah, not the main focus of the game, but would have liked to see at least, you know, the Cops and Robbers mode come back from 8 Deluxe. That was really fun. And, you know, these open world battle tracks make a lot of sense for that. So let's talk about multiplayer. Multiplayer is just single player with other players, so very solid. Online play is pretty good. I haven't really had issues with, like, connection or anything, and you get a lot of the same options you do in single player, wireless play. So there's not really much to talk about. I mostly just want to talk about here from now the mechanics, the free roam. We'll actually do some gameplay now as well. Mechanics, free roam, characters, you know, character selection, course selection, costumes, stuff like that. So we'll start with the free roam mode. A lot of people I see are saying the free roam mode is, you know, hit or miss. And I think that's true. If you like open world games like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, where there's stuff to do everywhere, and you're kind of used to that, you probably won't enjoy the free roam mode of Mario Kart World as much. But the way I see it is, like, Mario Kart to me is a very casual game, and sometimes I just want to, like, zone out and play Mario Kart without necessarily, racing and competing. So free roam is good for that for me. I'll drive around in free roam and just kind of listen to the music, and we'll talk about the music soon as well. The music in this game is a banger. But yeah, free roam is just kind of that for me. Like, there's P-switch challenges, and they're pretty fun. Like, we can do one right now. There's P-switches, there's collectibles, but, it's not really a main focus. The main focus of the free roam mode of this game is to just kind of drive around, see what there is, relax. And we got that. We hit that one. Oh, okay, we almost missed the last one. But yeah, P-switch missions. Some are longer than others. The Shy Guy Bazaar P-switch mission is ridiculous. If you know what I'm talking about, then yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That one is ridiculous. But I just like being able to drive around. Like, if I want to practice, some shortcuts, do that in free roam mode. You've got the cool rewind feature for that, which luckily is only in single player modes, so you can't do it online or in multiplayer, which is nice. Or I think you might be able to do it in multiplayer. It's just like offline modes it's available, but not online. But if you do it in multiplayer, you're a scumbag, low-key. But yeah, free roam is very good. There's not really like a whole lot to necessarily do, but I just like driving around and seeing, these locations that you don't really get to see for more than a passing moment. And the music is, again, very solid. You can practice shortcuts, and if you really want to go the extra mile, there's the P-switches, the medallions, the question block panels, all that good stuff to unlock stickers. So with free roam out of the way, I would say free roam is a lot better than people are giving it credit for, but, it is what it is. People are allowed to not like things. But yeah, moving on to let's talk about the character selection. So, the character selection in this game, it's hard to say whether it's better or worse than 8 Deluxe, because, for one, 8 Deluxe technically had multiple waves of DLC, because it was Mario Kart 8, it got Wii U DLC for crossover characters, and then it got 8 Deluxe Booster Course characters, so, like, it's technically 2 whole DLC packs plus the base roster, so it's kind of hard to compare that to Mario Kart World's base roster with no DLC. Even though they have a similar amount of characters, a lot of the characters are missing because a lot of the characters are replaced with these. I don't like calling them filler characters, but they are necessarily filler characters, because these are just characters like, Goombas are enemies on the course, so they already had the models for these characters when making the game, so they just made them playable racers, which is fine. I don't necessarily have a problem with it. And again, I don't have all of them unlocked either. I think I'm missing like 12 or so still, but you get the idea. Like, Spike is a obstacle, and they made him a racer because they had the model, might as well, right? Cheap Crab, Goomba, most of these characters. Some of them are returning, like, Dry Bones is obviously returning. Koopa Troopa is obviously returning, but for the most part, the enemy, like, I guess NPC characters are cool. And some of them are, like, I like Cataquack, I like Pianta. Some of them are unnecessary, I think, like Cheep and Monty Mole, but, like, Hammer Bro is a great one. I think Spike is pretty cool. Like, we've had Wiggler before, that's no shock there, but yeah, it's hard because the main cast is very good. I mean, we have some good additions, like, the removal of the Koopalings, I think a lot of people are happy about. We still have the baby characters for some reason. I don't know. Nabbit being here is pretty cool. But yeah, like, overall, it's not bad. It's just, like, I think pretty much every main roster character in this game was in 8 Deluxe, with the exception of the NPC characters. So, like, all the characters on these first 2 pages were in 8 Deluxe, whether it was, base roster or DLC, and then all the new characters are these NPC characters, which is kind of annoying. That we didn't really get any, like, new actual characters or returning characters like, Petey Piranha or Dry Bowser. I would have loved to see them come back, but I feel like we're gonna get into updates soon, but I think we're gonna see some stuff coming. But it is sort of made up with the costumes. I mean, these costumes, like, we'll sort by character. So I think the costumes are a great idea. You are technically turning Mario from one character into 9 characters or 10 characters by giving him these costumes. And yes, it's still Mario, but you can, choose a costume and distinctly be different from the other Marios. Unfortunately, the stats don't change with the costumes, which I think was a huge missed opportunity. I think having a character be a specific stat set is very cumbersome for players who want to have good stat sets but also want to play their favorite characters. And I feel like it was a missed opportunity to make the different outfits be different classes. So like you could have like Mario's a midweight, I think, in this game, but you could have had like, I don't know, you could have had Touring Mario be like a mid lightweight, and then Sightseeing Mario be a lightweight, and then Aviator Mario be a heavyweight. Like you could have had them have different stats, and it probably would have been pretty easy to implement that once they get the ball rolling with them. And again, the only problem I see with that is some characters don't have as many costumes. Like Donkey Kong, for some reason, only has his regular default, and then he has the all-terrain costume, and that's it for Donkey Kong. So really, all they could do is make Donkey Kong, he's a heavyweight, and with the all-terrain gear, it only makes sense for that to be a heavyweight. So you couldn't have a lightweight option or a medium weight option for Donkey Kong. So I feel like if they added more costumes for the characters, that could have definitely been a possibility where we could have seen different weight classes and stats for the different costumes. But unfortunately, just not the case. Some characters didn't get enough, like Donkey Kong only getting 2 costumes, Pauline only getting 2 costumes, Lakitu only getting 2 costumes, or Donkey Kong and Pauline got 1 costume. Pauline, Shy Guy, King Boo, like they don't get very many costumes. Birdo only got 2 costumes. It is what it is. Not a huge deal. I would say for the costumes themselves, they're all really solid. Like I don't think there's any bad ones. Like Wicked Wasp Wario's kind of weird. Like some of them are kind of weird, but it's Mario, so yeah, you gotta expect it. Some of them are really cool, like, the Toadette Soft Server. Like, this is a really cute skin. Biker Bowser is very cool. I also like Supercharged Bowser. The all-terrain Donkey Kong, even though it's its only skin, admittedly, is a pretty solid outfit. The Yoshis are really cool. I love the Broshi reference on the biker outfit. The costumes themselves are cool. I think it's just a missed opportunity that they don't have stat differences. But I feel like that's because some characters only have 1 or 2 costumes, and if they were to have more costumes, then there might be stat differences in the costumes. So that's characters. Let's talk about the carts. There's 40 carts in the game. I've unlocked them all. And I would say, honestly, the cart selection is very, very solid, despite there only being 40 carts and no customizable carts like there were in 8 Deluxe. A lot of people saw the cart customization as a just extra thing you have to do before you actually get to the gameplay. And I agree to an extent, but it's also kind of annoying that, we don't have that customization anymore. But it's not going to be a huge deal, because cars like the Baby Blooper, this is just the Teddy Bug, or the Teddy Bear ATV from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, just reskinned. Like, it's pretty much the exact same thing in this game. But the cars themselves are good. The standard cart is standard cart. You have some character-specific carts, like this is like supposed to be the Princess Peach cart. You have this cart, which is like a princess cart as well. You have like the Waluigi bike, the Rosalina sled, lots of themed cars. I love this little frog car. My favorite to use has been the Rob Hog. I like this cart a lot, and it feels really good to use, but I also like the Real Racer as well. Again, there's not a whole lot of, there is 40 options, but with the removal of customization, no gliders in this game at all, they're wings now, and then, no tire customization, you only get 40 picks, but, for the most part, there's 24 racers with 40 carts to pick from, so it's not too bad. You can always change up what you want to drive. You can still pull up the stats and whatnot. The stats are a little misleading in this game, though, which, I think it's like that in every Mario Kart game with stats, but it is what it is. It's very, very solid cart selection. Some of them are better than others, like this little Toon Thumper is like kind of a weird design for a bike, but it is what it is. But then you have ones like, the Tread Sled or the W Twin Chopper, and like these are great designs. And like some of them are returning too, like the Bee Dasher is returning, the Bitty Buggy is returning. So yeah, again, Very, very solid cart selection. I hope we see more carts in the future, with whether it's DLC or updates. Hopefully just updates. But yeah, cart selection is very, very cool. I like the cart selection a lot. So I also want to talk about the music really quick. The music in this game, leading up to this game, I was wondering, like, it's hard to explain it, but I was wondering, how were they gonna top Mario Kart 8's, or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's soundtrack? Because that song had a huge quantity of songs, because, again, like, that game was getting content over the course of, like, 11 years. You know, it came out on the Wii U, got Wii U DLC, came out on the Switch as the Deluxe version, got a booster course on the Switch version. So again, just so much content came out for that game, and I was like, how are they going to top Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's soundtrack in the base game? And somehow they did, and I was so shocked, like, opening the game and just going into the free roam. I didn't even go straight to races. I went straight to free roam just to, like, see what the game would feel like. And the music was playing, and, like, I started tearing up because some of the music is genuinely so good. The first song that played for me, aside from the opening theme, was the Steam Gardens remix from Mario Odyssey. And, like, I started tearing up because I realized Mario Odyssey music is in this game, and it's remixed. And there is a lot of Mario Odyssey music in this game. There's Jump Up Superstar, there's Break Free, there is the Iceland theme. I think the main title menu's in here. There is, like, a night jazz version of the Desert Kingdom themes. Like, it's just so fun, and it sounds so good. I haven't heard a single song that I've hated. And I think it's because they brought back a lot of the composers that made the music for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. They brought them back for this game, which is very, very good. Let's head somewhere else, get some scenery change. Let's hit a Sky High Sunday. But yeah, like, the music is really, really good, and with over 200 tracks, I don't know the exact number, but I think it's like 220 songs, including, like, the day-night versions of the songs, which, by the way, the fact that they did day-night version of the songs to go with the day-night cycle is really, really awesome. But yeah, the music is very, very solid. I really didn't think they were gonna top 8 Deluxe, and they somehow did, so yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. You just have to listen to it for yourself. You know, go on YouTube. There's this, I'm gonna do a shout out real quick. There's this YouTube channel. I think it's Wii Plays. Hold on, I'll check real quick, because I have his playlist saved. Sorry, I'm not really gonna be editing this video, so bear with me here. Okay, so yeah, Wii Plays, with a Z. His profile picture is Matt with a straw hat, from, like, One Piece. He has a playlist where he's not getting direct rips, because we can't get the direct rips of these songs yet, but he is getting, like, the highest quality he can, recording them in game. And he's uploaded 226 songs to his Mario Kart World OST. So right now it's 226. There's probably more. I don't know. He's been doing this over, like, the last week every day. So shout out to him. Go drop him a subscribe and go check out the music. If you want to download the music, it's all there in that playlist. You can just download the playlist through, like, you know, JDownloader or something. But yeah, shout out to that guy. Very, very solid. I wanted the Mario Kart music, and I found his channel, like, 5 or 6 days ago, like, right after the game came out. He was immediately, like, within a few hours of the game coming out, he was already uploading the songs. So shout out to that guy. He's goated for doing that for us. There's a couple other people doing it as well, but he's, like, the biggest one I've seen. Or he has the most of them. But yeah, go check him out. Go listen to the music if you don't have the game. And if you have the game, listen to music in the game. One thing that I will criticize, this is sort of like a free roam and music critique, is you don't know what song is playing unless you know the original version of the song, because there's no in-game, like, way to change the music. So you just have to listen to whatever track it plays. I think it'd be cool if there was a way to, like, you know, like, there was an interactable you could drive up to, or if it was just a menu in the menus, that you could, like, just go up to and see all the songs in the track list, and like even make playlists and like play specific playlists while you're in free roam, that would be really, really cool. And just like go into there, listen to the music, because then we'd get, like, you know, better quality recordings of the songs as well if we could just listen to the music directly in the game without, you know, having to do anything else. Can I even? I don't think I can even like make that. If I do it like this, maybe. No. Okay. Anyways, yeah. Oh, that's definitely possible. Yeah, just some way to like listen to the music in game. Maybe even make playlists for free roam mode if you want like to listen to specific types of music. There we go. Specific types of music, you could definitely do that. It's just kind of a shame, and even if there's not that, just like whenever you're in free roam and a song starts playing, like a little pop-up shows up in the top right of the screen or bottom left of the screen that just says the name of the song. Like, that would just make it so much easier to know what song it is if you want to download it and listen to it, or just, like, use it for a video or something. You don't have to go and, like, look through all of them. Luckily for me, like, I'm not a huge Nintendo fan, but I know my way around Mario, and I know the Mario music pretty well, so most of the songs I just kind of know looking at the titles. If I hear it, I'm like, oh, this is that song, so if I want to find it, I just look for the, you know, file name, that's this. Easy, right? But not everyone is going to know, so it would be nice to have some sort of way to just know what song is playing. But like, the music itself is insane. It's really, really solid. Honestly, better than solid. It unironically might be my favorite Nintendo soundtrack of all time. And that's including, you know, Zelda, Pokemon. I mean, Pokemon's not technically Nintendo, but you get what I mean. Like Zelda, Pokemon, Splatoon, Pikmin, Animal Crossing, all that. This game has probably the best soundtrack, in my opinion, ever, out of anything. Just because it's such a mix mash, like, the quantity of 8 Deluxe is there, and it's also higher quality than 8 Deluxe. And it's baffling to me that they were able to pull that off. Again, like, they did it once with 8 Deluxe, and I didn't think we'd ever see a soundtrack like 8 Deluxe's again. And then Mario Kart World came out, and we have a soundtrack that's somehow better. So, in my opinion, at least. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the soundtrack. So pretty much that's everything that I wanted to talk about, I think. What I would like to see from the game going forward, preferably free updates, considering the game is $80 for people who don't get the bundle, which I think, I hate, like, saying this because it sounds like I'm defending Nintendo, and I'm really not trying to defend Nintendo. $80 for Mario Kart World is utter insanity, and it should be no more than $70, and it really should be $60. I don't think Nintendo has, like, Nintendo quality is very, very solid, but I don't think Nintendo has the standing to price their games at $70, and especially not $80. But, you know, at the same time, specifically for Mario Kart World, it seems like they really wanted people to buy the bundle, and that might be why it priced at $80, but then, you know, when you get the bundle, it's only $50, which I think is a very proper price for the game. You know, I would pay $60 for Mario Kart World, 70 is pushing it, 80 is definitely wild, but $50 is a great price for Mario Kart World, so if you got the bundle, like, you know, good job. It's great value to get Mario Kart World at that price. And I think most people did, because at least in my case, my GameStop had like over 50 bundles, and then like 25 solo units, and then 20 copies of the game. So, you know, I think most people bought the bundle, which is good. And with Donkey Kong Bonanza being $70, I don't think $80 is going to be like a recurring thing, hopefully. I don't think it will be, though, with Donkey Kong being confirmed 70 on the website, so I mean, we'll have to see, of course, but I don't think, you know, I don't think we'll see $80 games anytime soon, hopefully. I hope I'm not jinxing it or anything, but, you know, we will see. But for $50, you know, game's not bad. I think most people got it for $50 with the bundle, so I can't shit on Nintendo too hard. As much as I would like to, I can't, because, again, most people got the bundle. It's really a $50 game for a lot of people, so... But yeah, a lot of people are saying, like, you know, the Switch 2 is overpriced. I think I think $450 for the Switch 2 is honestly not bad. Could it have been cheaper? You know, absolutely. Everything could always be cheaper, right? But I mean, compared to Xbox just upping their console prices, like, the Switch 2 has become the most affordable option for a console, and, you know, it's docked so you can play it on the TV, you can take it with you and play it handheld, and you don't even need to take it with you to play it handheld, you know, you can just, like, play it in bed. I play indie games on my Switch 2 in bed a lot, like, I've already done that. I've been playing Moonlighter lately again, and very, very solid. I'm excited for the second one. If you need an indie game recommendation, check out Moonlighter. But that's besides the point. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, their prices of $80 is weird, but most people didn't buy it for that price, so I don't know. It just sucks. Like, it sounds like I'm defending Nintendo, and I'm really not trying to, because $80 for Mario Kart is cheeks, but at the same time, you know, most people didn't really get it for that price, but it's still priced that for the game, and it's independently, so, you know, you can't really just ignore that. Oh, I got a question mark panel. But yeah, Mario Kart World is, like, a very, very solid game. I think it's kind of unfair to compare it to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe just because of how much content that game over the course of so long. I mean, again, Mario Kart 8 came out on the Wii U, it got DLC on the Wii U, then it came out with the Deluxe Edition on the Switch, and then it's got Booster Course on the Switch, which doubled the amount of tracks in the game and added a bunch of characters. So I just don't think it's necessarily fair to compare Mario Kart World to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with all DLC. Because that game, you know, got a decade of support over multiple DLC packs. And this game, like, just came out. So I don't think it's fair to compare them. I think it's much more fair to compare Mario Kart 8 when it came out to Mario Kart World when it came out. And then if we get free updates and DLC for Mario Kart World, then we can start having the discussion of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe plus Booster Course versus Mario Kart World. You know what I mean? I just don't think it's necessarily fair to compare them as it stands. And I hope we get some free updates, because, you know, again, the price of it being $80 would make me believe they're going to do some updates. I would like to see 200cc. I think a lot of the times, though, I don't think 200cc is, like, as big of a deal. I know a lot of people like it, but to me, comparing 150cc in Mario Kart World to 150cc in 8 Deluxe, I feel like it's a lot faster. Even though it's the same CC, I do feel like it is faster in Mario Kart World than it is in 8 Deluxe, right? So I don't know. I would still love to see 200cc. More options is always better. I just realized he's playing a Luigi's Mansion remix, and that's super cool. I didn't even know that was in the game. I'm getting sidetracked, but yes, updates, free updates would be nice. Some, you know, maybe, you know, a couple like a character or two every, like, an update, or, you know, a couple costumes as well. You know, maybe more items, more modes. I don't see them doing tracks as free updates because of the way this game is designed. I feel like they can't really add tracks one at a time. It would just not work with the way this game is designed. And if they're going to do tracks, it's going to be like a DLC pack where you unlock, like, another island or something that's, like, separated from this, or, like, it'll expand the map out and there'll be, like, some new locations, like you drive across the water and there'll be some islands out here. You know, that kind of way they're going to do track DLC. I don't think they can necessarily add tracks as the way it stands, but free content updates with some characters, some carts, some costumes, even maybe some new battle modes and stuff like that would be very, very nice to see. And of course, if we're going to get tracks, I think tracks will be paid DLC, unfortunately, but, you know, it is what it is. So yeah, let me know in the comments. I'm going to end the video here. I know it's been very, very long, but this is just me wanting to talk about the game and kind of give my full, honest thoughts on it. Do I think it is a 10 out of 10 game? Probably not. I mean, I would give it, like, maybe a solid 8, and maybe if we get some content updates, like free content updates, I can bump it up to a 9, depending on what we get from that. But, I mean, as it stands, it's a very, very fun game, but it's definitely missing some things, like 200cc. It's definitely missing some characters, some battle modes, but when it comes to the core game mechanics of just driving and racing, it hits the mark in every way possible. It does not miss with the actual racing, which is good. But other modes kind of fall flat. Like a lot of people, I like the free roam personally, but a lot of people don't, and that's fair. You know, it's missing battle mode content. It's, you know, missing some characters and stuff like that. Wait, I'm cracked? Thank you to that one. Yo, that was sick. Oh, the tricking, I didn't really talk about the tricking, but the tricking mechanics in this game feel so good. Like, just being able to grind on rails and, you know, even the charge jump where you can just kind of trick anywhere to hop up on things. Super fun. But yeah, again, let me know what you guys think about Mario Kart World down in the comments, and leave your Mario Kart game ranking in the comments. I want to know if you guys think this game is better or worse than previous entries in the series. Right now, as it stands, I think this might be my favorite entry. At the very least, it's tied with 8 Deluxe, but that's including all the DLC. So we'll have to see how I feel if we get some content updates or some DLC in this game. And also, let me know your favorite Mario Kart. I really would love to see how people react to this game. I think core gameplay is very solid, but it is missing some features like battle modes, maybe some more stuff to do in free roam. I don't really know. Some characters and costumes would be nice. I don't think the track selection is too bad. And of course the environments is amazing. I mean, it is Mario Kart World. The world is the best part. Super awesome. So again, that's going to be it for the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to be doing some live streams here soon on Twitch. I have my Twitch linked in the description and on my YouTube page, where we're going to be playing some Mario Kart. We're going to be playing Donkey Kong when that comes out. Just pretty much all the new Nintendo releases coming out this year, we're going to be trying to play as soon as they drop. And in the downtime, we'll be playing Pokemon Scarlet because I never got around to playing that really. And we'll be doing some Mario Kart World lobbies, so you can come play with me live on Twitch if you want. So yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Again, like, comments, follow me on Twitch. I'll see you guys in the next video. And shout out to We Plays with a Z for uploading all of the Mario Kart World OSTs. Go check him out on YouTube, drop him a sub, and comment with what an amazing job he's doing, because he is really helping out the community with this. So yeah, that'll be it for the video. Again, I'll see you guys in the next one.